How I Got My Hot Asian Boyfriend, Part 1. Hey AMWW readers, it's Brooks in my first article. This is a story about how I first met my hot Asian boyfriend, which was by accident. Neither of us were out looking for anyone, and I didn't know I was going to get an Asian boyfriend. We met by chance, in a hospital waiting room of all places. A mutual friend of ours was in the ER, minor emergency, just dehydration. However, I walked right up to him and introduced myself. I admit I had a bit of that liquid courage in my system, and I was absolutely enamored by his whole being. His eyes, the few seconds I could actually get him to make eye contact with me, just blew me away. I've been wined and dined by celebrities, NFL players, household names. Okay, and none had the effect over me as this hot Asian man who had just turned 21. I was mystified. How could this be? He was about the most opposite of anything and everything I have ever gone for in the past. I have dated white guys, black guys, one Latino guy, and even married once to a Greek guy, but an Asian man was something I'd never dated. In fact, I hardly even knew of any. There were, after all, only a couple of Asian families in my whole town aside from the Chinese restaurant owners and workers. The only perception I had on Asian men were the typical Hollywood Asian stereotypes, not flattering. Being I hardly knew any Asians, all I had to go by was how Hollywood stereotyped Asian men as super geeks or asexual martial artists who had no sexy love scenes in films. One of my all-time favorite movies was 16 Candles, and I always and forever had the image of the Asian guy, Long Duck Dong, hanging upside down from the top bunk asking Molly Ringwald, "What's a-happening, hot stuff?" ingrained in my head. So how was it that this guy was changing my entire opinion and view of Asian males by saying less than 10 sentences to me? He didn't talk too much. He showed a little interest, but not too much. So, back to the hospital scenario. After our friend was hydrated and ready to go, I had mentioned we were going to a sports bar down the street. I gave our mutual friend, the one that had been in the ER, the okay to go ahead and give him my number. 20 minutes later, he texted me asking where I was. I told him and asked him to stop by. He did. I was so nervous and excited all at the same time. We hung out for a mere 15 minutes before he read a text on his phone and told me that he was sorry but something came up and he had to run. I couldn't believe it. This did not happen to me. This little 21-year-old had really just left me hanging? I've done modeling, been a beauty pageant queen, partied at the Playboy Mansion, and have a parade of guys lined up wanting to date me. And he had just left me hanging? Still in shock, I walked back over to the table where all my friends were and sat there, stunned. Stunned for many reasons. How was this guy having this effect over me? How did I just get left hanging like that? What this guy did, whether he meant to or not, was something magical that all men should learn. He had planted a seed of intrigue and anticipation. Women, well, most women, love the thrill of the chase. If a man quickly pursues an attractive woman, she will most likely run away. Guys, don't chase her. Make her chase you, and then when she does start to chase or pursue you back, back off. Don't be overly excited to hear from her. Don't respond to her immediately. Don't draw it out so long that you just anger her either. There is a thin line between playing hard to get and just pissing her off. Here I have given you a little insight on the first night I met my boyfriend and how the things he did got my attention. When I continue my story about how I got my hot Asian boyfriend, I will give you more insight on the friendship turning into a relationship, including how it happened and key pointers on how to make these techniques work for you. Check out www.asianmanwhitewoman.com.